Next. The voice cut through the hallway. Sharp. Cold. A woman stepped forward. He didn't look up. Resume. She handed it over. Calm hands. Steady breath. The waiting room was silent behind her. People watched. He flipped through the pages fast. Too fast. A small laugh slipped out. You serious? She blinked once. I am. He leaned back. Chair creaked. No recent corporate role. Gaps. No top-tier firm. He tapped the paper harder. This is not your level. A pause. Her eyes stayed on him. What is my level? She asked. A few people shifted in their seats outside. He smiled. Thin. Careless. You people always think confidence replaces qualification. The air changed. Tighter. Someone in the hallway looked down. The woman didn't move. Didn't react. Just watched him. Say that again, she said quietly. He shrugged. I don't repeat obvious things. Silence. Heavy. She glanced at the wall behind him. A framed line. We hire beyond bias. Her lips pressed together. Then she stepped closer. And you decide what bias looks like. He leaned forward now. Annoyed. I decide who gets in. A beat. Her voice dropped. Do you? He frowned. For the first time. He really looked at her. And something felt off. The door clicked shut behind her. Soft. Final. The interviewer didn't look up again. He flipped another page. Fast. Too fast. Yeah, this isn't strong. His voice was flat. Dismissive. She stayed standing. You read all of it? She asked. He sighed. I've seen enough. A short pause. She pulled the chair slightly. May I sit? He shrugged. If you want to waste more time. She sat anyway. Calm. Controlled. Her hands rested on her lap. Still. You said it's not strong, she said. Which part? He leaned back. Annoyed already. The part where there's no real growth. He tapped the page again. People at this level don't take breaks like this. She nodded slowly. And what level is that? He looked at her now. Eyes narrowing. You're asking a lot of questions for someone in your position. A beat. And what position is that? Silence stretched. Then. He smiled. Not kindly. Applicant. The word landed heavy. Small. Controlled. She didn't react. Just tilted her head slightly. I see. He leaned forward. Look, I'll be honest. We move fast here. We need people who can keep up. I can keep up, she said. He shook his head. No. You think you can. The room felt tighter now. Air thinner. Outside, a shadow moved past the glass wall. Someone watching. You people come in confident, he continued. But confidence isn't skill. Her eyes stayed on him. Steady. You people again, she said. He exhaled. Impatient. You're making this something it's not. Then explain it. His jaw tightened. I don't need to explain basic standards. She leaned forward slightly now. First shift. Small. But you should be able to, she said. A pause. That pause lingered longer than expected. He tapped the desk again. Faster this time. You don't have the background we prefer. Prefer, she repeated. Yes. Or require? He didn't answer right away. That was new. We look for a certain fit, he said finally. There it is, she replied softly. His eyes flicked. What? Fit? She let the word sit. Heavy. Measured. What does that mean here? He laughed once. Short. You're really doing this? I'm asking a question. You're challenging the process. I'm trying to understand it. He leaned in. Closer now. Voice lower. You don't understand it because you've never been part of it. A beat. And you have, she asked. That hit something. Small. But real. He straightened. I've been here long enough. How long? 5 years. And in 5 years, she said, you've decided what fit looks like. His fingers tightened on the resume. I follow guidelines. Written by who? He didn't answer. Again. That silence came back. Longer this time. Outside, someone shifted. A phone lifted slightly. Watching. Recording. He noticed. His tone sharpened. This interview is over. Just like that. Final. He closed the file. Pushed it aside. You're not moving forward. No explanation. No hesitation. Just rejection. She looked at the file. Then at him. Why? He frowned. I just told you. No, she said calmly. You didn't. His patience snapped a little. You lack alignment with our expectations. She nodded. Say it clearly. His eyes hardened. You don't belong here. The words sat between them. Cold. Sharp. Final. But she didn't move. Didn't stand. Didn't leave. Instead, she asked, how many candidates did you reject this morning? He blinked. Thrown. What? How many? That's none of your concern. 3, she said. His face changed. Just slightly. The first, overqualified, she continued. His fingers stilled. The second, too quiet. Silence. The third, she said. You said she lacked presence. Now he leaned forward again. But this time, not in control. How do you know that? Her voice stayed calm. Even. Measured. Because now, the room had shifted. Completely. I was here, she said. A pause. Long. Heavy. I've been here all morning. He stared at her. Trying to place it. Trying to understand. But something wasn't adding up. Something felt wrong. And for the first time, the interviewer didn't feel in control anymore. The room stayed quiet. Too quiet. The interviewer didn't answer her question. He studied her now. Carefully. Like he was seeing her for the first time. What exactly are you saying? He asked. His voice had changed. Less sharp. More guarded. She didn't rush. I'm saying, she replied, your decisions follow a pattern. He gave a short laugh. There's no pattern. There's judgment. Your judgment, she said. A beat. That's your job, he snapped. To decide who fits. She nodded once. And you've decided very quickly today. He leaned back again, trying to regain control. That's what experience looks like. Or bias, she said. The word landed. Hard. His jaw tightened. You're crossing a line. She didn't move. You drew the line. Silence. Outside the glass wall, the bystander shifted again. Phone slightly raised now. Not hidden anymore. Watching closely. Inside, the pressure grew. You rejected the first candidate, she continued. Before he finished his second sentence. He frowned. I didn't need more. You said he would disrupt team balance. That's a valid concern. Based on what? He was too aggressive. Her eyes stayed steady. He was confident. That's your interpretation. And yours is different, she asked. He hesitated. Just for a second. That second mattered. You're twisting things, he said. No, she replied softly. I'm repeating them. A pause. Sharp. Clean. Then she continued. The second candidate. He exhaled loudly. We're not discussing other applicants. You already did, she said. He blinked. Thrown again. You said she lacked energy. She did. She was nervous. That's not our problem. Her voice dropped slightly. But it became your judgment. He leaned forward, frustration rising. We can't hire people who can't handle pressure. And how do they learn to handle it? She asked. That's not my responsibility. There it was. Clear. Simple. Cold. Her eyes didn't leave his. But you decide who gets the chance. He didn't answer. Again. Another silence. Longer now. The kind that builds weight. Outside, the bystander took a small step closer to the glass. No one stopped them. Inside, the interviewer shifted in his chair. You're overanalyzing everything, he said. I'm observing, she replied. You're interfering. I'm asking questions. You're wasting time. A beat. Whose time? She asked. That hit harder than he expected. His fingers tapped the desk. Faster now. Uncontrolled. Let's end this, he said. You're not a fit. That's final. She didn't move. Didn't react. Just spoke again. The third candidate. He shut his eyes briefly. Annoyed. Stop. You told her she didn't have presence. I did. What does that mean? He opened his eyes. Irritated. It means exactly what it sounds like. No, she said quietly. It doesn't. His patience cracked. It means she didn't stand out. Her voice stayed calm. She did stand out. He scoffed. No, she didn't. She was the only one who asked you about your hiring criteria. That stopped him. Instantly. Silence. He remembered. The question. The way she had asked it. Direct. Clear. And how he had shut it down. You avoided answering her, the woman said. He looked away. For the first time. You redirected the conversation, she continued. Then rejected her. His voice dropped. You're making assumptions. I'm describing events. Another pause. Heavy. Measured. Then. She leaned back slightly. First sign of ease. You don't reject people because they're unqualified, she said. He looked back at her, eyes narrowing. You reject discomfort. The words hung there. Unavoidable. Sharp. That's not true, he said. But his voice lacked strength now. It didn't land. She watched him carefully. You reject people who challenge your control. He shook his head. No. You reject people who don't match your idea of safe. That's not. You reject people, she said, cutting through calmly, who remind you that your system isn't fair. Silence. Complete. Even the hallway outside felt still. The bystander didn't move. Didn't blink. Inside, the interviewer sat frozen. Then he forced a laugh. Low. Uncertain. You're turning this into something serious, he said. It is serious, she replied. It's an interview. It's a gate. A beat. And you're guarding it. That line hit. Deep. He straightened. Trying again. You don't understand how this works. She tilted her head slightly. Then explain it. He opened his mouth. Then stopped. Nothing came out. Because every explanation led somewhere he didn't want to go. She saw it. That hesitation. That gap. And she stepped into it. You don't need qualifications, she said softly. You need permission. His eyes snapped to hers. And you decide who gets it. His breathing shifted. Slower. Heavier. You're done here, he said again. But this time, it sounded weaker. She didn't argue. Didn't push. Instead, she reached for the folder on the desk. Lightly. Turned it toward herself. Flipped it open. He didn't stop her. Didn't react fast enough. Her eyes scanned the page. Then another. Then she looked up. Calm. Certain. There are notes here, she said. His chest tightened. What notes? She tapped the paper gently. Internal ones. A pause. Then, she read one line. Quietly. Not a culture fit. Silence. His face changed. That note was not supposed to be visible. Not to her. Not to anyone. His voice dropped. How did you get access to that? She closed the folder slowly. Carefully. Placed it back down. Exactly where it was. Then met his eyes. And said, Would you like to know what else I have access to? The air in the room felt different now. He didn't reach for the file again. Didn't touch the desk. Just watched her. Carefully. You shouldn't have access to that, he said. His voice was lower. Controlled. But the edge was gone. She didn't answer right away. Let the silence stretch. Then, who decides access? She asked. He frowned. That's not your concern. It became my concern when you wrote it. His jaw tightened. That's an internal note. And I just read it. A pause. Sharp. Clean. He leaned forward. You went through confidential material. I turned a page, she said. You crossed a line. You drew it. That line again. And this time, it landed deeper. He sat back slowly. Eyes narrowing. You're trying to trap me. She shook her head. No. A beat. I'm trying to understand the system you're using. There is no system, he said quickly. There are guidelines. She nodded once. Show me. He blinked. What? The guidelines, she said. Show me where culture fit is defined. Silence. He didn't move. Didn't reach for anything. Because he couldn't. It's not written like that, he said. Then how is it written? He hesitated. Again. Too long. It's understood. Her eyes stayed steady. By who? By the team. Which team? His fingers tapped the desk. Slow. Measured. Trying to think. Hiring leads. Senior staff. And you? He didn't answer. But that silence was enough. You've turned something undefined, she said softly, into a rule. That's how experience works. That's how bias works. The word came back. Stronger now. He shook his head. No. Bias is intentional. She leaned forward slightly. No, she said. Bias is comfortable. That hit him harder than the last one. He looked away. Just for a second. But she saw it. You didn't write those notes to hurt anyone, she continued. His eyes returned. You wrote them because they felt right. He opened his mouth. Then stopped. Because he knew. That part was true. You call it instinct, she said. You call it experience. A pause. But it creates the same result. He exhaled slowly. You're oversimplifying. She shook her head. I'm making it clear. Outside the glass. The bystander stepped closer. Phone steady now. Recording everything. Inside, the interviewer noticed. His eyes flicked toward the door. Then back to her. You're creating a scene, he said. You created it, she replied. His voice sharpened again. Stop twisting this. I'm not twisting anything. Then what do you want? The question came out fast. Almost desperate. That was new. She held his gaze. Calm. Measured. I want you to explain your decisions. I already did. No, she said. You labeled them. A beat. You didn't explain them. He leaned forward, frustration rising again. We don't have time for long explanations. But you have time to reject people. That's efficiency. That's power. The word sat between them. Heavy. Uncomfortable. He shifted in his chair. You're turning a simple process into something political. It's already political, she said quietly. He laughed. Short. Sharp. No, it's not. It decides who gets opportunity. A pause. That's always political. Silence. Long. Unavoidable. He looked at her. Really looked this time. Trying to figure her out. You talk like you've seen this before, he said. She didn't answer. Have you? He pressed. Another pause. Then. Yes. One word. Simple. But it carried weight. He leaned back, studying her. And what makes you think this place is any different? Her eyes flicked to the wall, to the framed statement. We hire beyond bias. Then back to him. It was supposed to be. That line landed. Different. Not an attack. Something else. Something heavier. He noticed it. What does that mean? He asked. She didn't respond right away. Just watched him. Then. It means someone believed it. A beat. And you changed it. His chest tightened. I didn't change anything. You shaped it. That's my job. Without definition? With experience. With assumption, she corrected. He shook his head again. You're making this personal. It is personal, she said. For every person you rejected today. He didn't respond. Couldn't. Because the room was no longer neutral. It had shifted. Completely. From interview. To something else. Something heavier. More dangerous. He tried again. You're not part of this company, he said. You don't understand the pressure. She leaned back slightly. You think pressure justifies your choices? It explains them. It exposes them. Silence. Again. Then. She reached into her bag. Slowly. Deliberately. His eyes followed the movement. Careful now. Alert. She didn't rush. Didn't look away. Just pulled something out. Small. Flat. Rectangular. She held it for a moment. Between her fingers. Then. Placed it on the table. Gently. No sound. But the impact was immediate. He stared at it. Didn't touch it. Didn't move. Just looked. Trying to understand. Trying to process. What is that? He asked. Her voice stayed calm. You tell me. He hesitated. Then slowly. Reached forward. Picked it up. Turned it slightly. His eyes scanned the surface. And then. They stopped. Locked. Frozen. Something in his expression shifted. Not irritation. Not control. Something deeper. Recognition. But incomplete. His voice dropped. This logo. A beat. It's the same. She didn't move. Didn't speak. Just watched him. As the realization started to build. Slow. Heavy. Unavoidable. He didn't put the card down. His fingers tightened around it. Eyes scanning it again. Slower this time. Careful. Like the meaning might change if he looked long enough. Why do you have this? He asked. His voice was quieter now. Not sharp. Not in control. Just uncertain. She didn't answer right away. Let him sit in it. That confusion. That small crack forming. You've seen that logo every day, she said. He frowned. I know the company logo. Then look closer. He did. Again. The same design. Same shape. Same color. But there was more. Text beneath it. Smaller. Cleaner. He leaned in. Reading now. Actually reading. And that's when his breathing shifted. Just slightly. He didn't speak. Didn't react out loud. But his grip tightened. You're not answering my question, he said. Still looking at the card. I did, she replied. You just haven't understood it yet. That hit something. His head lifted. Eyes locking onto hers. You're playing games. No, she said calmly. You are. A pause. Sharp. He placed the card back on the table. But not gently this time. Controlled. But tense. You walked in here as a candidate. I walked in here to observe, she corrected. His jaw clenched. You misrepresented yourself. I asked for an interview slot. That's deception. That's access. Silence. The word lingered. He didn't like it. You don't get to redefine this, he said. You already did, she replied. A beat. With your notes. His eyes flicked to the folder. Then back to her. That tension again. Rising. Unstable. You don't belong in this process, he said. There it was again. Belong. She noticed. You keep using that word. It's accurate. It's convenient. It's true. It's untested, she said. He leaned forward suddenly. Frustration breaking through. I've been doing this for years. And no one questioned you? That landed harder than expected. He paused. Because. No. No one had. Not like this. Not this directly. They trust my judgment, he said. Or they don't see it clearly, she replied. That's an assumption. So is culture fit? Silence. Again. Longer. He looked at the card. Then back at her. Something wasn't adding up. It was starting to bother him. You said you've been here all morning, he said. Yes. You watched every interview? Yes. Why? The question came out faster now. More urgent. Because the control was slipping. And he could feel it. She held his gaze. Steady. I needed to see it myself. That line hit differently. Not defensive. Not emotional. Intentional. What exactly were you looking for? He asked. She didn't hesitate this time. The gap. He frowned. What gap? Between what you say. A pause. And what you do. His chest tightened. That's not a gap. It is, she said. No, he pushed back. It's judgment. It's inconsistency. It's experience. It's bias. The word came again. Sharper. Cleaner. He shook his head. More forcefully now. No. But it didn't sound convincing anymore. Even to him. You rejected 3 people in under 20 minutes, she said. That's efficiency. That's avoidance. His voice rose slightly. We don't need long interviews to know. You need control, she said. That stopped him. Completely. Silence. Even the hallway outside felt frozen. The bystander didn't move. Didn't lower the phone. Inside, the interviewer stared at her. Long. Hard. Trying to regain something. Anything. You're trying to discredit me, he said. I'm asking you to explain yourself. I don't answer to you. That line came fast. Reflex. Authority. But the moment it landed, something shifted. Her expression didn't change. Didn't react. Just held steady. And that steadiness made his words feel weaker. Everyone answers to someone, she said quietly. Not like this. Especially like this. A pause. Then, she leaned forward slightly. Second shift. Closer now. More direct. You've built your version of this role, she said. He didn't interrupt. Didn't argue. Because now, he was listening. You've turned opinion into standard, she continued. Preference into rule. His breathing slowed. Heavy. Measured. You don't check yourself, she said. You don't question your decisions. I don't need to. You do now. That landed. Deep. Unavoidable. He looked at the card again. Then back at her. Something in his eyes changed. Not anger. Not confidence. Something closer to doubt. Small. But real. You still haven't told me who you are, he said. There it was. The question that had been building. She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she stood up. Slowly. Deliberately. The chair moved slightly. A soft scrape against the floor. His eyes followed her. Tense. Alert. She walked toward the glass wall. Looked out for a second. At the hallway. At the bystander. Then turned back. You've been comfortable here, she said. He didn't respond. You've had space to decide, she continued. To define. To filter. Each word landed. Measured. Precise. He swallowed. Slightly. Without meaning to. And no one interrupted you, she said. A beat. Until today. Silence. Heavy. Then, she stepped back toward the table. Closer again. The card still sitting between them. He glanced at it. Then at her. Then back again. Trying to connect it. Trying to understand. You're not just a candidate, he said. It wasn't a question. It was a realization. Half-formed. Unsteady. She met his eyes. No. A pause. Then. He asked it. Quiet. Careful. Then what are you? The room held its breath. She didn't sit. Didn't move. Just stood there. Calm. Certain. And said. That depends. A beat. On how much you're ready to hear. The silence stretched. Heavy. Uncomfortable. He looked at her. Then at the card. Then back again. Trying to connect it. Trying to catch up. That depends? He repeated. His voice was slower now. Careful. What does that mean? She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she pulled the chair out again. And sat. Calm. Like she had all the time in the world. He didn't. What are you doing? He asked. Finishing the conversation, she said. His jaw tightened. This conversation is over. No, she replied softly. Now it's starting. That line hit. Different. Not defensive. Not reactive. Certain. He leaned forward. Hands on the desk. Firm. You don't control this process. She tilted her head slightly. Don't I? A pause. Sharp. His voice hardened. You're a candidate. She reached forward. Picked up the card again. Turned it slowly. And slid it across the table. Closer to him. This is not a candidate card, she said. He stared at it. Longer this time. Really reading now. Every word. Every detail. And then, his expression shifted. Not confusion. Not irritation. Recognition. Clear. Sudden. His voice dropped. No. He blinked. Like his eyes might be wrong. No, that's not. It is, she said calmly. He shook his head. Faster now. That doesn't make sense. It does. You're saying. He stopped. Couldn't finish it. Because saying it out loud would make it real. She didn't help him. Didn't soften it. Just held his gaze. And let him arrive there himself. Slowly. Painfully. You're connected to the company, he said. A weak attempt. Half step. She didn't respond. His throat tightened. Your management? Silence. His chest rose. Fell. Faster now. Who are you? He asked again. This time. Not defensive. Not aggressive. Just uncertain. She leaned back slightly. And answered. I built this company. The words landed. Heavy. Final. He froze. Completely. No movement. No reaction. Just stillness. Like the room itself had stopped. That's not possible, he said. But it came out quiet. Thin. Unconvincing. It is. You're too. He stopped himself. Too what? Too calm. Too composed? Too different from what he expected? The thought didn't finish. But it didn't need to. She saw it anyway. You've never met me, she said. He shook his head slowly. No. And yet, she continued, you had an idea. Silence. You had a picture in your head. He didn't respond. Couldn't. Because she was right. He had imagined something else. Someone else. And I didn't fit it, she said. That word again. Fit. Now it meant something else. Something sharper. His hand moved slightly on the table. Unsteady. You're the owner? He asked. Finally saying it. Fully. Clearly. Yes. One word. No hesitation. No emotion. Just truth. His chair creaked as he leaned back. Distance. He needed distance. This doesn't make sense, he said. You applied for a role. I requested access. You went through the process. I observed it. That's not how this works. She leaned forward slightly. It is today. A pause. His mind was racing now. Trying to recover. Trying to reframe. You misled the system, he said. You are the system, she replied. That line hit hard. Direct. Unavoidable. He looked at her. Really looked now. Not as a candidate. Not as someone below him. But as authority. And it changed everything. His posture shifted. Subtly. But clearly. You should have identified yourself, he said. His tone softer now. More careful. Why? She asked. So this could have been handled properly. How would you have handled it? He hesitated. I would have. He stopped. Because he knew. He would have acted differently. Spoken differently. Judged differently. And that was the point. You would have treated me differently, she said. He didn't deny it. Couldn't. Silence. Then, she continued. That's the gap. The same word from before. Now clearer. Now undeniable. The gap between your process. A beat. And your behavior. His chest tightened. He looked down. At the desk. At the folder. At the notes. Then back at her. I didn't know, he said. It sounded small. Almost like a defense. She nodded once. I know. That surprised him. You know, he asked. Yes. A pause. That's why I came like this. Silence. The weight of that sentence settled slowly. You tested me, he said. I observed you. You set this up. I gave you the same conditions you give others. That line landed deeper than anything before. Because now, there was no distance. No excuse. No difference. He had been measured. By his own standard. You could have told me, he said. And changed the outcome, she asked. He didn't answer. Because yes, he would have. And that was the problem. She stood up again. Slow. Controlled. And looked at him. Not with anger. Not with triumph. But with something heavier. Disappointment. You didn't fail an interview today, she said. He swallowed. You revealed a system. A pause. And your place in it. The room felt smaller now. Tighter. He sat there. Still. Trying to process. Trying to recover. But the ground under him was gone. This wasn't random, he said. It wasn't a question. It was realization. She met his eyes. No. A beat. It wasn't. Then why me? The question stayed in the air. Raw. Unprotected. She didn't answer right away. She let him sit in it. Let the weight settle. Then. Because you were consistent, she said. He frowned. That's a good thing. It depends on what you're consistent in. Silence. He leaned forward slightly. What does that mean? She didn't rush. Didn't soften. It means your decisions followed the same pattern. I told you there is no pattern. There is, she said calmly. A pause. And we've been tracking it. That word landed. Tracking. His body stiffened. We. She nodded. Yes. A beat. You're not the only one in this room anymore. His eyes flicked to the glass wall. To the hallway. To the bystander. Still there. Phone steady. Recording. His voice dropped. Who else is involved? She stepped back from the table. Calm. Controlled. The company, she said. Another pause. And external auditors. His breath caught. Auditors. That meant documentation. Records. Proof. This is an investigation, he asked. It has been, she replied. For how long? He pressed. She met his eyes. Long enough. Silence. He leaned back in his chair. Trying to process. Trying to find something. Anything. To hold on to. You should have informed me, he said. That's not how investigations work. I have a right to know. You had a responsibility to act fairly, she said. A beat. You chose not to. His jaw tightened. I didn't discriminate. You filtered. That's my job. You filtered based on undefined standards. That's experience. That's bias. The word again. But now, it carried evidence behind it. Not just accusation. He shook his head. More slowly this time. Less certain. No. But it didn't land. Not even for him. She reached into her bag again. Pulled out a thin folder. Placed it on the table. He stared at it. Didn't touch it. Didn't want to. What is that? He asked. Your data. A pause. My data. She nodded. Your interviews. Your notes. Your decisions. Silence. Heavy. He swallowed. You've been recording me? Reviewing, she corrected. That's the same thing. It's not. A beat. We review outcomes. His eyes moved to the folder. Then back to her. What does it say? He asked. His voice was quieter now. Careful. She opened it. Slowly. Turned it toward him. Didn't push it across. Just let it sit. Look. He hesitated. Then leaned forward. Eyes scanning the page. Lines. Dates. Names. Outcomes. And then. Categories. Patterns. His breathing changed. Faster. You've marked them, he said. Yes. Why? To understand them. He pointed at a column. What is this? She glanced at it. Candidate profile notes. He read one line. Then another. Then another. His face tightened. These aren't accurate, he said. They're based on your own words. I didn't say this. She looked at him. You wrote it. Silence. He scanned again. Looking for something. Anything. To disprove it. But the words were there. His words. Summarized. Organized. Clear. You're taking things out of context, he said. There is no context that justifies this pattern. He looked up sharply. What pattern? She didn't hesitate. You reject candidates who challenge you. That's not true. You reject candidates who don't match your comfort zone. That's not. You reject candidates, she said calmly, who don't fit your idea of authority. Silence. Complete. Even the hallway outside felt frozen again. The bystander hadn't moved. Still recording. Still watching. Inside, the interviewer sat still. Eyes on the folder. Mind racing. This is selective, he said. We reviewed everything. You're targeting me. We're evaluating outcomes. His voice rose slightly. I'm being singled out. She shook her head. You're being measured. A beat. By the same system you enforced. That line landed hard. He leaned back again. Further this time. Distance. He needed distance. You said auditors are involved, he said. Yes. Where are they? She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she glanced toward the door. A small movement. Subtle. But enough. His eyes followed. The door was still closed. But now, it didn't feel private anymore. They've seen the data, she said. They've reviewed your decisions. His chest tightened. And, a pause. They have concerns. Silence. He exhaled slowly. Long. Heavy. What kind of concerns? She met his eyes. Consistency. That word again. But now, it didn't feel like strength. It felt like evidence. You said I was consistent, he said. I did. And now that's a problem? She nodded slightly. When consistency produces the same exclusion, yes. That hit deeper than anything before. Because now, there was no argument left. Just outcomes. He looked at the folder again. Then back at her. What happens now, he asked. His voice was different. Lower. Less certain. Less controlled. She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she stepped closer to the table. Placed her hand lightly on the folder. Closed it. Slowly. Then said, now it moves beyond this room. Silence. He felt it. That shift. From conversation to consequence. You're escalating this, he said. It was already escalated. You're making a decision. I'm following a process. His breath caught again. The same words. Thrown back at him. Clean. Sharp. Unavoidable. This affects my career, he said. She nodded once. Yes. A pause. And it affected theirs. Silence. Heavy. Final. He looked at the door again. Then back at her. Something in his expression changed. Not anger. Not denial. Something closer to realization. Slow. Painful. Unavoidable. You planned all of this, he said. She met his eyes. No. A beat. You created the conditions for it. The knock came again. Soft. But final. The interviewer didn't move. Didn't speak. Just stared at the door. Then at her. What is this? He asked. His voice was low. Tight. She didn't look away. Next step. A pause. The knock came a third time. Slightly firmer. He exhaled slowly. Then. Come in. The door opened. Two people stepped inside. Quiet. Professional. One held a tablet. The other carried a thin folder. Both composed. Both focused. The room changed instantly. The interviewer straightened in his chair. Reflex. Authority posture. But it didn't hold the same weight anymore. This is an internal review, he asked. The man with the tablet nodded. Yes. The woman beside him glanced at the protagonist. A brief look. Respectful. Then back to the interviewer. We've been monitoring hiring decisions across departments, she said. He forced a small nod. I wasn't informed. That was intentional, the man replied. Silence. The interviewer's jaw tightened. This feels like an ambush. It's an evaluation, the woman said. A beat. Based on recorded outcomes. His eyes flicked to the glass wall. The bystander was still there. Still watching. Still recording. This is being documented? He asked. Yes, the man said. Why? The answer came from her. Because it matters. He looked at her. Long. Hard. But there was no ground left to stand on. The woman with the folder stepped forward. Placed it on the table. Opened it. Inside. Printed reports. Highlighted sections. Notes. Patterns. Evidence. We've reviewed your last 90 days, she said. His breath caught slightly. 90. Yes. She flipped a page. 32 interviews. Another page. 26 rejections. His fingers tightened. That's normal. She didn't react. Just continued. Of those 26, 18 followed identical reasoning patterns. Silence. Heavy. The man with the tablet added. Language consistency. Decision timing. Outcome repetition. The interviewer shook his head. That doesn't prove anything. It shows a trend, the woman said. A concerning one. He leaned forward, voice rising slightly. I apply standards. You apply interpretations, she replied. A pause. And those interpretations exclude in predictable ways. Silence. He looked at the protagonist. Then back at them. This is because of today, he asked. No, the man said. This is because of everything before today. That landed. Hard. He leaned back again. Further this time. The room felt smaller. Closing in. This isn't fair, he said. The protagonist spoke. It wasn't fair for them either. A pause. He didn't respond. Because he couldn't. The truth was sitting in front of him. Documented. Structured. Unavoidable. The woman closed the folder halfway. This review moves forward to formal action, she said. His head snapped up. What action? A beat. Disciplinary review. His chest tightened. That could mean anything. Yes, she said calmly. It depends on your response. Silence. The man stepped forward slightly. We're offering you a chance to explain your decisions. The interviewer looked at him. Then at the folder. Then at the protagonist. And for the first time, he didn't look defensive. He looked unsure. What do you want me to say? He asked. His voice was quieter now. Real. The protagonist stepped closer. Not aggressively. Just enough to be present. Say what you believed, she said. A pause. And why? He swallowed. Looked down. Then spoke. I believed I was maintaining standards. The words came slowly. Carefully. I thought I was protecting the team. A beat. I thought I was doing my job. Silence. The room held it. Then, the woman asked. And now? He didn't answer right away. Because now, the weight was different. The clarity was sharper. I don't know, he said. Honest. For the first time. The man nodded slightly. That's a start. A pause. Then, the protagonist spoke again. You filtered people who didn't feel familiar, she said. He looked at her. You avoided discomfort. He didn't argue. Didn't push back. Because now, he could see it. You weren't protecting the company, she continued. You were protecting your version of it. Silence. Deep. Unavoidable. The woman closed the folder fully. We'll proceed with formal review, she said. Effective immediately. His eyes lifted. What does that mean for me? A pause. The answer came clearly. You're removed from hiring duties. His breath caught. Immediately? Yes. The word echoed. Final. He sat there. Still. Processing. Trying to understand what just happened. The power he had. Gone. Just like that. The man added. You'll be reassigned pending investigation. Another pause. Then, the protagonist spoke one last time. There's one more step. All eyes turned to her. She held his gaze. Calm. Steady. You'll go through the same hiring process. His brow furrowed. What? The same questions, she said. The same evaluation. A beat. The same standards. Silence. He leaned forward slightly. Confused. Why? Her answer came clean. Precise. So you can feel it. The words landed deeper than anything else. Not punishment. Understanding. The room stayed quiet. Then, the woman nodded. That will be arranged. The man tapped something on his tablet. Noted. Logged. Finalized. The interviewer looked at her again. Long. Hard. But there was no anger left. Just something else. Realization. Mixed with something heavier. Regret. What happens after that? He asked. Her voice softened slightly. Then we decide if you fit. Silence. Complete. The same word. Now turn back on him. Full circle. Unavoidable. Do I even have a chance? The question stayed in the room. Soft. Uncertain. No authority left in it. Just a man asking. She didn't answer right away. Didn't rush to fill the silence. Because this time, silence mattered. He watched her. Waiting. Not demanding. Not controlling. Just waiting. Finally, she spoke. Everyone has a chance. A pause. But not everyone is ready for it. The words landed gently, but they carried weight. He nodded slowly, not fully understanding, but feeling it. The man with the tablet stepped closer. "We'll begin your evaluation tomorrow," he said. The interviewer blinked. "So soon?" "Yes. A beat. You'll go through standard assessment. The same words. The same tone. The same system. Now, on him." He exhaled slowly. Long. Heavy. "I understand," he said. And for the first time, he meant it. The room began to shift. Energy changing. The review team gathered their files. Calm. Efficient. The woman closed the folder completely. Sealed. Final. "We'll be in touch," she said. They moved toward the door. Professional. Composed. But before they left, the bystander stepped inside. Slowly. Carefully. Still holding the phone. The interviewer looked up. Confused. "Who is that?" he asked. The man with the tablet glanced back. "A witness." The word landed. Clear. Unavoidable. The bystander lowered the phone slightly. Hands shaking just a little. "I didn't mean to record everything," they said. Voice unsure. "But I couldn't ignore it." Silence. The interviewer looked at them. Then away. Because now, there was no privacy left. No control. Just truth. The protagonist turned to the bystander. "You did the right thing," she said. The bystander nodded. Still unsure. But steadier now. The review team stepped out. The door closed behind them. Soft. Final. Now, only two people remained. The interviewer. And the woman who changed everything. The room felt different again. Quieter. But heavier. He looked at her. Not as a candidate. Not even just as authority. But as someone who saw him clearly. "Why did you build this company?" he asked. His voice was low. Careful. She didn't answer immediately. She looked at the wall. At the framed statement. "We hire beyond bias." Then back at him. "Because I've been in that chair," she said. A pause. "Many times." He swallowed. Slightly. "I thought I was being fair," he said. "I know." That surprised him again. "You know," he asked. "Yes." A beat. "Most people do." Silence. He leaned forward slightly. Elbows on his knees. "What happens if I fail?" he asked. She held his gaze. "Then you learn. And if I don't, then you leave." The words were simple. But final. He nodded slowly. Accepting it. Not fighting. Not arguing. Because now, there was nothing left to defend. Only something to face. She picked up her bag. Calm. Controlled. Ready to leave. But before she reached the door, she stopped. Turned back. One more thing. He looked up quickly. A reflex. Still there. "What?" he asked. She stepped closer. "Not far. Just enough." "You didn't lose your job today," she said. A pause. "You lost your position." Silence. He processed that. Slowly. Carefully. "And the difference?" he asked. Her voice softened. "The job can come back." A beat. "The trust has to be rebuilt." That hit deeper than anything else. Because that couldn't be measured. Couldn't be forced. He nodded. Once. Small. But real. She turned again. Walked to the door. Hand on the handle. Then, she paused. Just for a second. And said, "This place wasn't built for comfort." A beat. It was built for change. Then she opened the door. And stepped out. The hallway was quiet. But different now. People looked up. Watched her pass. Some curious. Some aware. Some hopeful. She walked past the waiting chairs. Past the same space where candidates sat earlier. Nervous. Uncertain. Waiting for judgment. She stopped for a moment. Looked at the empty seats. Then kept walking. Inside the room. He sat alone. The desk in front of him. The folder gone. The card gone. The authority gone. Only the echo remained. Of words he had used so easily before. Not a fit. He let out a slow breath. Then another. His hands rested on the desk. Still. No tapping. No control. Just stillness. He looked at the chair across from him. The one she sat in. And for the first time, he saw it differently. Not as a position below him, but as a place of pressure. Of judgment. Of weight. He leaned back slowly. Closed his eyes. Just for a second. Then opened them again. And looked forward. Not with certainty. Not with control. but with something new. Awareness. Clapperboard final lines, moral closure. Sometimes, the system doesn't break loudly. It reveals itself quietly. In small decisions. In quick judgments. In who gets a chance. And who doesn't. And sometimes, the person you dismiss is the one who built the door you're standing at.